Hello traders, let us now take a look at the different support and resistance areas that we have created today, or what we have below the close of today, or if we want to go up above again. So we went up to the 5571 level after the open at the 5656 area, got rejected from there, and we came down to the 551819 area today. That is the low that we have as of today. Now this is the beginning of the monthly chart, so we cannot say what is going to happen to it. It can go back, it can come down further. Even if it comes down further, there is still a possibility that it can go up. But as of this point, we have broken this micro gap. I will still keep the micro gap in here just as a reference point. We are right above this micro gap here. We have to see if this micro gap breaks down. We may come down to this area at 5464, which is the channel support, and if this line breaks down, then we can come down to the 5432 area, the 5396 area, and subsequently to these levels at the bottom side. Now if this was just a pullback and we are going to revert back again, I want to see price above this 5575 to this 88 area in the morning tomorrow, and if that happens, we can expect that the price will get back to the 9798 area, go above 5600, and come and retest that 5615 or the 13 area once again. Now let us take a look at the weekly chart. Looking at the weekly chart again, we got rejected at 7-1. We came down this far. Now there is a possibility that we will find support in the 5497 area. I will keep a line there at this point. Now if we are breaking down this 5497 area, we can come to the midpoint of this week, which is at 5467, and finally we can come to the weekly EMA at 5434. We will have to see if we are holding that or if we are going to come down and get to these lows at the 5376 to the 5370 area, and then 5348, and subsequently we get down to the 5329 areas again. So these are the different points of interest that we have on the downside on the weekly chart. So we can come down to 5498 if we break down the low, and below that we can get to 5467, and then we can come to the weekly EMA. Below that we can come to these areas at 5378. Let me put a buy zone box there. If this also breaks down, then we will come down to this 5346 and then 5330, and subsequently we will find out the levels below. Now the weekly EMA was at 148 points, and if you look at this right now, we are already at 155 points right now. Now it is possible that we create a 30-40 point trading range tomorrow the whole day, and then we start going up again to the 50% of this bar, and then we get rejected. On the upside, just like the monthly chart, when I look at the chart tomorrow, I want the hourly chart to stay above these levels, the 5586, 5587. Then it is highly possible that we go and hit this 5515 line. Once we get above the 5600 level, we come and hit this 5615 line and get to this 5638, and then we can try to reclaim these areas on the top again. Now, if you look at this, there have been 4 bull bars, and then we are having 1 bear bar on the weekly chart. This is just the beginning of the week. There are still 3 more days left. So we will have to see how the price reacts here, and then we can decide in which direction the price is going to go. Now let us take a look at the daily chart. So if you remember, this was the mother bar that we had, right? And we have broken down the mother bar. Now let us draw the fib on the mother bar again. So if we want to do a 1:1 of the mother bar, so we will get to this downside trend line resistance, which is at 5500. So that is easily possible. Once we start breaking down these lows, we come down here, and we may actually get down to this area as well, which is at 5480. On the other side, this is the support zone that we have broken down. This was holding the price till now, and we have broken down of that. So even if the price comes back somewhere near 5560 to 5580, the price may get rejected from here once again. And considering this is the bottom of this mother bar, there is a possibility that we can come down back here again. So if we have an overnight move like this on the hourly chart of some sort like this, we create a wedge, and then we can come down again and get to these lows, break it down, and come down to this micro gap that we have at 5460. Now on the daily chart, we can have 2 wedges that can be drawn. This is the first wedge which got broken down. This is the 55-54 area. So if we are coming back to this wedge, we will have to see whether we are getting above this wedge. We are coming to the EMA and we are still going up. The EMA may also get rejected tomorrow, which is again at the 55-64 levels at this point of time. So if we come up here and get rejected, we will know that the daily EMA is rejecting the price, and we can come down to the lows once again. As of now, we have broken out of this complete trading range, but we will have to see whether we get a follow through tomorrow. If we do not get a follow through tomorrow, if tomorrow is not a bearish bar, then there is a big possibility that we will get back inside this area once again. And if we do not break down this bottom, then tomorrow actually may be an inside day that may happen. The other wedge that can be seen is if we are taking this as the first low, this as the second low, then the price will come down to the 5500 crossover, from there come to this 5488 area and continue down to this 5456 area. But again, as I said, on the weekly chart, we are already beyond the ATR, so we will have to make sure that we are breaking down this area strongly and then coming down further. Now the daily ATR today ended at 106 points. So if we consider that we are going to come down 106 points right from here, 55.38. So if we are coming down another 100 points, we will be somewhere here at the 54.38 levels at the low of this 14th August candle. And if we want to get back up from here, then we can get back up to the 56.38 lines, and then we will see what happens. Now, if you bring in the mother bar fibs here, based on this mother bar fib that we had, you will see that we are at the 21%. We need to get above this 33% to get to here. And if we keep crossing above this, then maybe we will try to reach the upper 1/3 area, which is at 5608. And then we will see if we are going above this 5608, we can come to this 5619 to the 20 area. And then we will go up to the 5630 area. And subsequently, we can reach this upper 89 to 79% area again between 5646 and 5636. Now, if we are putting up the mother bar fibs on this particular mother bar on 22nd August, you will see that we came down to the 89% extension and we bounced from there, but we could not get above the 50% extension. So if we get above the 50% extension, it is highly possible that we can come to the 11% and the 21% extensions of the mother bar in this area. That is also where we have the EMA on the daily chart. And then if we get rejected from there, we will try to see if we are coming back down again, or if we are getting above this 5584 line, maybe we will get up to the 5592 to the 5600 areas. And once we cross that, we can get above to the 5610, and above that we can have the 5619, the 5629, and we can get above this to get to the 79 or the 89% above on the top as well. But again, we will have to make sure that we are keeping an eye on this upper 1/3 line, because if it creates a trading range here, this upper 1/3 line can also act as a very good area of resistance, which is at 5637. And if we want to do a 1:1 of this whole thing, you will see that 5502 is the line where the 1:1 will happen. Then we will have to see whether we are coming down and touching this wedge line, or we are bouncing from here and getting back to the top. We will also keep this particular wedge line in our chart so that we can see that if the price is coming here and getting rejected, we will have an idea that this is the wedge line that is rejecting it. Let us now take a look at the 4-hour chart. So if we consider that this is the whole trading range that we had, and this trading range will be duplicated to the downside, then the price will come down to the 5489 areas. But we have to make sure that we are breaking down the low of yesterday again. So we came to this 5517 line. We did not break it. And now we are going back above again. This may be the area where price may start getting rejected once again, and we can come down further. Now we have a 1, 2, 3, 4 bar micro channel right here, and we have a total 6 bar drop. So even if we pull back, there will be another drop that can happen and give us the third leg on the 4-hour chart. Also, I will keep this particular wedge line on the 4-hour chart, which is crossing the chart at 55.85. Once we get above this and we are starting to hold this trend line, we may actually come back up to this 5603 to the 5611 area. And if we can get above that, we will again come back to this breakout line, which is at 5624. However, if this is the wedge that the computers are looking at, or the algos are looking at this point, and we move sideways here overnight, then there is a possibility that the 4-hour chart will come and hit this trend line here before we start a bounce or a couple of legs to the upside. Now on the upside, I again want price to get above this 5585 area. That is my primary concern. If the price gets above the 5585 area, that means we are back into this trading range. And then we have the levels on the top. At this point of time, I'll make this box a little bit wider so that it can capture the whole area of resistance from 5613 to 5611. So we broke out of this trading range for now. Now I do not know whether the market is considering this end as the trading range or this as the trading range. But if this is the trading range, we have broken out of it and we have got a follow through. So even if we get back up, there is a good possibility that we will get another leg down on the 4-hour chart. And based on the pullback that we have overnight at that point of time, we will be able to gauge how far the market can drop if we actually drop below this 1.7 or the 1.8 area, which was the low of today. Now, looking at the 1-hour chart, this was the first leg down. We tried to go up a little bit. This was a little bit of pullback, and then we had some sideways movement and we failed to go back up. We did a double top right here at 5636 on the hourly chart, and this was the second leg that we had. This was the next pullback attempt, which was an inside bar. We broke the low of that again and had the third leg down. So on the 1-hour chart, we already have 1, 2, and 3 legs down. So the 3 legs down are completed on the 1-hour chart. Based on that, we can say that there is a wedge that has already been created here with these 3 lows. If you see, they are perfectly connecting. We can actually take this line and create a channel to the upside just to see how the price is moving overnight. If this is the channel, and this is a very tight channel, and it may be very difficult to reverse this channel, right? So even if we break out this channel at this point of time, there is a good possibility that we will come back down and check the extremes and maybe come down here to the 5499 or the 5489 areas, or at least hit this double top hourly double top breakout area at 5488.75. On the upside, we will have to see how the overnight hourly candles behave. If there are 5 6 candles which have gone up, consecutive candles which have gone up and has continuously created a higher high in each candle, then we can say that it will come down a little bit, but then there will be higher probability that the price will keep going up and it will come to this 5590 area. Now once we get above this 5590 to the 95 area, mostly we will hit the hourly EMA. The hourly EMA is at 5604, but tomorrow morning it may not be there, so we will have to see how far we are from the hourly EMA and whether we are getting above that, and then keep going farther to the 5624 to the 21 area and see if we are getting rejected from there. This was the first micro gap that we have on the hourly chart, so it is highly possible that we can come and test this area as well. And once we get above this 5632 line, which is the 4-hour 20 EMA, we can come back to these areas of 5642, 5649, 5655, and we may reverse the whole thing again. But before that, we have to see that this channel is getting broken and then there is a pullback, and whether we are creating a new extreme or we are taking out that lower high and we keep on moving higher. I made some changes to the support and resistance area. So we know that this 5668, this is the primary sell zone that we have that created this drop. This is the consolidation area after that. This is again the 5611 to the 03 area that we saw on the 4-hour chart as well. And below that, we have this 5593 line and then the 5575 to the 72 area. This is the other resistance area that the price will face. If we consider this to be the channel, and if we break down this channel now, we will come somewhere to this 5522 to the 5516 area once again, or the 5518 area once again. If we break down this low, I will have a line here as well. If we break down this low, then mostly we will come down to this 5490 area. And if we give up this 5490 area, we will see this 5475, and then finally we will come down to this balance zone, which is at 5456. Breaking down of these balance zones, we can come down to the next balance zone at the 5397 area. Now there may be some more support in this area. If you are looking to the left, you will see that there was a bull spike at this point, and this 5429 area may also act as a very good support. I will also put a line here which is at 5439, and if you break this down, we can come down to this 5428, and below that we will come back to this area of breakout, which is at 5401. So if we are trying to plan based on this chart, this 5569 to 5565 is the primary gap area that we have after this pullback attempt, or after this reversal attempt was done. Now we will have to see whether we get above this 50% of this channel line. If you see, the 50% of this channel line has been holding the price. If we get above this 50% of this channel line, we can come back to this upper trend line. But there is a high possibility that this upper trend line will get rejected, or this middle line will itself get rejected, and we will get a new extreme and get a fourth leg on the 1-hour chart. The other possibility that can happen is that we create a trading range between the low of today and this 5593 area. So within this 60 points, price can create a trading range and stay there for a couple of days as well. Now let us take a look at the 5-minute chart. We will look at the ETA chart right now just because of the fact that this was the area that started the drop. So I will keep my support resistance areas on the ETA chart at least for today. So this is the main area where the drop started. This was the area where the distribution happened and then we fell. If we come from the bottom, this was the low of the day. This is 5526, which is another important line. I will actually move it down a little bit to 5525.5 at this point. After that, the next area of resistance will be at the 5546 area. If we get above that, we will come to this balance zone, which is between 5551 to 5560. If we get above that, we will come to this area where we price sold off again between 74 and 69. And if we can get above these levels, then this 5580 will be another target. The next one will be 5589, after which we will get to the 5599 to the 5600 area, and then we will have this particular area between 5603 and 5614. This is equivalent to the area that we were looking at on the 4-hour and the 1-hour chart between 03 and 11. And if we can get above this, then we will come back to this balance zone again between 5626 and 5635. However, we will have to keep in mind the low of the close of bar 1 again, which is the 5624 line as well. If we can get above this 5636 area, there is a possibility that we can come to this 5646 to the 5650 area. And right above that, we have the 6065 area, 70, and finally the 75 to the 77 areas to the upside. Now, if we are coming down, then below the low of the day, we will find support at 5513. If we fail 5513, mostly we will come to 5492, failing which we will get to this 5471 line. Now, you may ask why these areas are so wide. Just because there was a spike here, and this was the support area that created the origination of the spike right here. So if we are breaking this down, then we will come to the next consolidation zone, which is between 65463 and 5451. And after that, we may come down to this particular box between 46 and 5439 once again. If price still wants to come down, we can see 5433, and then we can come down to this 5423.25 line as well. Now, one thing that I missed stating on the 1-hour chart is this was the breakout that we had, right? So we broke down of this 5594 area and we could never recover that. So at this point, we have a breakout gap right here. So that is why I was saying that this 92 to 94 area may reject the price once again. And if the price gets rejected here, we may get a couple of strong legs to the downside and may come and test this low once again, or at least get inside the channel that we were looking at on the 1-hour chart. So based on this analysis, we will come back tomorrow morning at 8:45 a.m. EST during the pre-market call, and we will look at what has happened overnight and then decide what can be the possible paths that the price can take. If you want to join that meeting, the link to that Google Meet is given in the description below. Along with that, you will also find the link to our Facebook page as well as the free Discord server. You are very welcome to join there. You will also find the links to all these charts that we have been discussing. And as always, please like, share, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, and click on the notification icon. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 8:45 a.m. EST again. Have a great night, everyone. Bye.